We're holding Be'ez Hashem, Siman, Lamed, and haGuela. Okay? And this is a new subject now. But it has to do with Nisim that were done for Rishayim. So he says, U'gedoyla mizu matzinu be'gemara brachas. Daf Lamed Ches Lamed Aleph. Tanu Rabbanan. We find the Gemara in brachas. And here it would be good to read the Gemara inside. So let me, since the Rebbe skips around a little bit, let's just read the whole thing. It's here, the last three small lines before the lines spread out and get wider. Tanu Rabbanan. Mahu Omer. What bracha does one say on bread? Hamoitzi lechem min haaretz. That's what we say today. Rabbi Nechemia Omer, moitzi lechem min haaretz. He holds no. You don't say the hey. You don't say hamoitzi. You just say moitzi. Omar Rava, b'moitzi kuli amalei pligi. Everyone agrees that the word moitzi would be good for the bracha. The apik mashma, because that means past tense. Because when we're saying a bracha on bread, we're saying Hashem brought this bread in the past out of the earth. Hamoitzi lechem. Blessed are you, Hashem, who brought this bread before, not who's going to bring this bread out, who already brought this bread out from the earth. So it has to be past tense. And I wrote a little chart here of Aramaic grammar. It's a little confusing. But apik means he took out. Mapik means he will take out. And we'll see the rest of them soon. But you see, Omar Rava, b'moitzi kuli amalei pligi di apik mashma. The word moitzi, everyone agrees, means he took out. Dichsiv, kel moitzi am Mitzrayim. It says in the Nevuah of Bilam that Hashem took them out of Mitzrayim. It already happened. Bilam was living after Yetzias Mitzrayim, and he said in the past tense, Hashem brought them out of Mitzrayim. Ki pligi, when do they argue? Behamoitzi. They argue whether the word hamoitzi could mean past tense. Rabbanan Savri, the Rabbanan hold hamoitzi the apik mashma. The word hamoitzi is past tense. Apik, he took out. Dichsiv, and I'll bring you raya, hamoitzi l'chamayim yitzura chalamish. That when Moshe was telling the story of the Midbar in the Sefer Devarim, and he said, Hashem brought you out water from a hard rock. So the fact that he said hamoitzi shows that hamoitzi is past tense. For Rabbi Nechemia Savar, hamoitzi the mapik mashma. Hamoitzi means future tense. Shenemar hamoitzi eschem mitachas sivlois mitzrayim. So this is the pasuk that I quoted at the top here. I just wanted to show you the whole pasuk. V'lokachti eschem li le'am. It's a pasuk in the beginning of Vo'era. One of the four things, by the Seder we have four koises. So the four koises are connected, the four words that Hashem used for the Geula. So the last one is V'lokachti eschem li le'am. I'll take you for a people. To me for a people. V'ayisi lachem le'elkim, I'll be to you for a God. V'yidatem, and then you'll know ki ani Hashem Elokeichem hamoitzi eschem mitachas tivlos Mitzrayim. I'm Hashem that brought you out from under the burdens of Egypt. So the word hamoitzi means brought you, past tense. Okay, so far Rabbi Nechemia has this proof that it means. The other way around. Rabbi Nechemia learns from this pasuk hamoitzi means future tense. Hashem, because Moshe was saying this pasuk back in Egypt, so it didn't happen yet. They didn't go out of Egypt yet. So he's saying hamoitzi eschem means he's going to bring you out of Egypt. The Rabbanan, what did the Rabbanan do with that proof? Hahu hachi kamar. Pasuk means like this. Hachi kamar lehu. Kut shabrichu l'Yisrael. Hashem is saying to the Yidden, kadma pikna lechoin. When I bring you out, future tense, I will take you out. See on my chart. Avidna lechu milsa. I will do for you something. Ki hechi diadisu. So you should know the anahu diapekis yaschon. That in the past I took you out Mitzrayim. It will happen that you'll know that I took you out of Mitzrayim. Tichsiv v'yadatem ki ani Hashem Elokeichem hamoitzi. You will know that I am Hashem who did take you out already from Mitzrayim. And then the Gemara tells a story. Mishtabchin le'ei Rabbanan le'Reb Zera es bar Rav Zvid. The Rabbanan praised to Rav Zera, the son of Rav Zvid, Achur Reb Shimon bar Rav Zvid, the brother of Rav Shimon, the son of Rav Zvid. The Adam Gadol who ubaki bebrachas, and they said he's a great man and he's expert on the laws of brachas. So Omar Lohem, Reb Zeir said to them, When he comes to you, bring him to me, because I want to test him out to see if he's really so great. So Zimna Chada Ikla Gabe, he visited to him, to Reb Zera, Piku Le Rifta, and they brought him out bread to make a bracha on. He wanted to see what bracha he was going to make. So Pasach v'Amar Moitzi, he said, Baruch Atam Hashem, Lokein Melech Olam, Moitzi Lechem Min Haaretz. So Amar Zehu Shahim Malav D'Adam Gadol Hu Baki B'Brachas. Who? You're telling me that he's such a great man and he knows brachas? He didn't even know what bracha to make on bread. Bishlama iyamar hamoitzi. If he would have said with a hey hamoitzi ashmuinen taima. Oh, sorry, I didn't copy that part. He would have told us the tam the ashmuinen the hilchis rabbanan. He would have told us that the halach is like the rabbanan, not like Rabbi Nechemia. It's almost over. Don't worry. El diyamar moitzi. Now that he said just moitzi, my kamashma. What's he telling us? Why did he do it? To get himself out of the dispute. He wanted to do something that everybody agrees is good. So that's why he said moitzi. Alright, it's Adkan. That's the Gemara. So now let's just turn the page here in haGuela to where the end of the Gemara is. He quotes most of it here. We're on the line starting the kasha. It's about like 7 lines down. The kasha. The chayra. Rebbe asks, the kasha is the chayra v'chiyal yidei sheratza latzei sidei kuli alma. Because the son of Rav Zvi wanted to do something that everybody agrees upon. V'loy lahachnis atzmei b'plukta. He didn't want to be part of this dispute of Rabbi Nechemia and Rabbanan. Hachi b'shvil zeh yimna mimenu ma she'amru alav adam gadohu. Is that a reason to say that he's not a great man? Many times the Gemara says that it's better to do something that is good according to all opinions. Even today also, right? When two opinions disagree, try to pick the way that's going to satisfy every opinion.
It's one of the Torah mitzvahs to follow the majority.
Right. So you're saying why didn't he? That was why he wasn't a great man, because he followed the minority. He should have followed the majority. Right. Okay. Good point. Maybe. Gam yesh lahavin. He says another question is b'chi Rabbi Nechemia shesoiver the tzarich loymar moitzi eino gav rabba. The shita of Rabbi Nechemia, who holds that you're supposed to say moitzi, was he not a great man? The deal masavar Rabbi Nechemia. Maybe Rav Zvid's son held like Rabbi Nechemia. But like you're saying, he was an Amoyer. He was much later than Rabbi Nechemia, so he should have gone with the majority, right? V'im kol zeh hu gav rabba. Maybe he's still a good man, a great man. Why did Reb Zeir consider him less of a great man because of this? So here's my answer, the Rebbe says. The Gemara says, how does Hamoitzi mean past tense? Because when I bring you out of Mitzrayim, I'm going to do something to show to show that I'm the one who brought you out. How is it possible that the Jews still didn't know, after all the miracles that happened in Mitzrayim, they still didn't know that Hashem was the one bringing them out of Mitzrayim until later on, and they found out retroactively that He was the one? Well, what does that mean? All the amazing things, the 10 plagues that happened, they still didn't know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the one. Even the magicians of Parai, after the third Makkah, it says when they saw the kinim and they couldn't make kinim, by the dam they were able to make dam, and the tzfardeya they could make tzfardeya. But when they got the kinim, they said we can't do it. And it says etzba Elokim hi. Even they admitted that it's the finger of Hashem. Gama chatumim yachad kulam hoidu. They all agreed. V'amru etzba Elokim hi. So why didn't the chatumim all become Jewish? The answer is after that they changed their mind, machmis hachbadas halev, because it says that Hashem was hardened Pharaoh's heart, and He hardened all the Egyptians' hearts. V'amru, and they said Shema mechashrim hem yoister mehem. They said maybe it's just Kishuf, maybe it's not Hashem, maybe Moshe Rabbeinu just knows how to do better magic than us. Anyway, but the point is, you see that even the Egyptians agreed that it was Hashem. So why can't the Yidden be convinced by all the signs and wonders? Gam yesh l'daik, or yesh l'adam. We have to ask. B'ma nisvada lahem, achar kach yoister sha'kodesh baruch hu sha'itziam. if they didn't know, if all these miracles didn't convince them, so what did convince them? How did they find out later? All the Yetzias Mitzrayim Nisim were greater than all the Nisim. Rashi Parshas Yisrael Akasuv Ki Hoitzi Hashem Es Yisrael Mitzrayim Zu Gedoy La Kulam. When Moshe told his father-in-law Yisrael all the things that happened, and he said that Hashem brought them out of Mitzrayim, Rashi says that's the greatest thing. That's the most amazing thing. Even after that, they still didn't know that Hashem was the one that did it. Then how did they eventually find out? The Rebbe says the answer is, we see from here a great foundation in Torah, a great fundamental principle. What is that? We should not rely on miracles. Even the greatest miracles in the world. Even if it's like Kriyas Yamsuf. Why? Because you can never know for sure that Nisim were Nisim. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't from Hashem at least. Nisim could also be created by the unclean forces. Because we find that there was another Yetzias Mitzrayim. You think that our Yetzias Mitzrayim was the only one? There was one 30 years before. Bnei Ephraim. Shiyatzu koydem hazman. They went out early. Even though, naturally speaking, no slave ever escaped from Egypt. 30,000 warriors of Bnei Ephraim escaped. So how did they do that? How did they pull it off? Must be that they had the aid of the unclean powers. There was a shvuah. It says by Yosef. He said by Yashba Yosef, the end of Vayechi. Yosef made the Klal Yisrael swear by Yashba Yosef as Bnei Yisrael lemor. Hashem is going to come and bring you out of Mitzrayim. Meaning, Meshech Chochmah says, he put on them the Shalosh Shvuos. Don't go out of Mitzrayim early. So therefore, they were mushbaim shloi latzis kodim azman. The heim sheratzu la war l'shvu. The Bnei Ephraim transgressed the oath. V'limroid ba'kodesh baruch Hu. They rebelled against Hashem. Siu lohem koich satuma. So they got the support of these powers. L'hafik mamam to fulfill their desires. V'lavar al ratzon Hashem yisbarach. Ki zeh shaloi haya yachol ever livroich misham. The fact that the Egyptians were so strong and they couldn't, no one could escape. That the fact is the Egyptians were also big witchcraft people. They also knew how to do kishuf, and they closed off their country with kishuf so that nobody could escape. So why did the Bnei Ephraim escape? I believe Bnei Ephraim lo yamdu negdam kshafim. The kshafim didn't stop them. Really, the fakert, it helped them. Because they needed help from the Koiches Atuma to go against Hashem. So therefore, getting back to our question, how could the Yidden get out of Mitzrayim and not know that it was Hashem? The answer is, they thought maybe we're like the Bnei Ephraim. Just like they got out, maybe we got out with Koiches Atuma, right? They couldn't know for sure. They didn't know for sure. They thought it was Hashem. Okay, Moshe is saying constantly, Koyam Hashem, whatever, right? But there's still that lingering doubt. Maybe it's the Koiches Atuma. Until they found out later. How did they find out later? That we're going to see in a minute. So what was the final proof that Hashem brought them out? What was it? Matan Torah. That's what he's going to say in the next siman. That the fact that Hashem gave the Torah in Har Sinai and spoke to Moshe directly in front of them, and everybody heard it. Every Jew in the world heard Moshe being Mekabel the Torah from Hashem. That's the yesod of our Amunah, and that's how we knew that Hashem was the one who brought us out of Mitzrayim. And Hashem said to us directly, He said, "Anochi Hashem Lokecha, Asher Ha'itzicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim Beis Avadim." So everybody heard those words. There was no shliach in between. So therefore, that's how we know that L'mafreya, we know that the whole Yitzis Mitzrayim was from Hashem. So the point of this siman is again to show that nisim and niflois doesn't mean anything, because even if the Zionists produced real nisim, they didn't. 6-day war was not real nisim. But even if they do produce real nisim, you can't prove anything from it. The only thing you can prove it from is if you look in the Torah and you see what Hashem wants us to do.